It is Sunday, July 6th, 2025, 1:50 p.m. I'm on day 27 of 40 Days of Doubt, Devotion for the Skeptic, going by day, reading the day, and then reading my response from last year. Today's day is day 27, and the question asked, why aren't Christians any happier? A common assumption is that finding God should make you happy. I mean, he's invisible after all, so finding him is quite an accomplishment. And being able to talk to God on a regular basis and knowing that he cares about you so much that he would even suffer and die for you, that's a pretty big deal. If you really believe that's true, it seems like it should be enough to put a smile on your face. But Christians don't seem to be much happier than anyone else. In my independent, unscientific study, people with Jesus fishes and cross stickers on their cars are just as likely to get upset when I cut them off in traffic as Subaru drivers with Darwin-legged fishes and NPR stickers are. The other day I came across a Christian lady in the grocery store whose shirt read, "Too blessed to be depressed." Is that how it works? Because I'm betting Christians suffer with depression at the same rate as non-Christians do. I think one of the worst lies we've ever been told is that we're all supposed to be happy. Advertisers tell you that lie, and social media does too. Everyone looks happy on Snapchat. I mean, they have rainbows pouring from their mouths. You only see your friends' happiest moments on Instagram. Christianity hasn't offered much of an alternative message. It's like at some point we saw how advertisers were getting rich, and the church became just another merchant of happiness. We wanted people to know that Pepsi might make you happy, but not as happy as God can make you. It was unintentional, but we marketed Jesus like a product, putting him on the same level as a Volkswagen. German engineering is okay, but have you tried Jewish carpentry? It's not that God doesn't want you to be happy, it's just that happiness isn't your purpose. Jesus lived the most purposeful life ever, but even he wasn't always happy. Jesus promised us life will hurt and we are going to suffer. The point of following him isn't to avoid the pain. The point is to let Jesus use your pain to redeem you and to give hope to others hurting around you. Jesus said, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. Every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." John 15, verses 1 through 2. The branch that bears fruit is a reference to believers. So Jesus is saying that sometimes God prunes or cuts us back for the purpose of making our lives more fruitful. The other day I heard a young preacher say that the time his faith grew the most was when he had cancer. Battling a life-threatening disease gave him a sense of perspective that escapes most of us in our day-to-day grind. When you're fighting cancer, it doesn't matter who wins the Bachelor or who is in the White House. The preacher got down on the floor and played with his kids every day, even though he was exhausted and nauseated from the chemo. He got on his knees and prayed and read his Bible every day. He made more eye contact with his wife, and yeah, they cried a lot. But they also laughed more hysterically than ever. Cancer didn't make him happy, obviously, but while he had cancer, he discovered joy. Joy is not the same as happiness. Happiness is reliant on your circumstances. Joy springs up regardless of your circumstances. Happiness is temporary, joy is eternal. You may find happiness at certain moments and in certain things, but you can have joy you can have joy at all times and in all things by choosing to be grateful and awestruck by God every day, no matter what you're up against. And then my response from last year: the message of today was agreeable enough until the last paragraph, where you try to distance the synonymity of joy and happiness because you're too scared to acknowledge Christianity brings no more happiness or joy compared to any other hope-based way of thought. Yeah, that's about it. As much as I could nitpick, here's the thing, and I'll only say this because it's a really short one. There's a lot of times I can nitpick and say, all this terrible things, well, it's God that's causing it. That is the assumption that God is real. I don't use that too often. Sometimes I do in certain contexts and circumstances. But like I said, I could certainly nitpick and say, well, all these terrible things that don't bring you happiness is also God's fault. When it comes down to it, that's simply not the case, because nothing is God's fault, because God is not real. That's why I think the message of today was agreeable up until the point where he tried to, I use the word synonymity. The author tried to say, oh, it's not always happiness, it's joy. It's the same thing. yes, in theory, everyone can have different definitions for different words if they want. Different words might have the same definition, but slightly different connotations. I understand all that, but simply what I'm saying is that today's message was agreeable until the point when he just, yeah, that's it. I'll read it one more time. Why not? Because it's a really short video. The message of today was agreeable enough until the last paragraph, where you tried to distance the synonymity of joy and happiness because you're too scared to acknowledge Christianity brings no more happiness or joy compared to any other hope-based way of thought. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me, always question why.